ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects millions of people worldwide. While some of us are familiar with the more well-known symptoms such as hyperactivity and impulsivity, there are some subtle habits that can indicate ADHD. Let us explore some of the sneaky, lesser-known signs of ADHD. You might even be surprised to find out that you have a couple of them. 1. Mental chaos. People with ADHD may struggle to keep their thoughts and attention organized, leading to a disorganized lifestyle and many missed opportunities. This can result in missed deadlines, forgotten appointments, and a sense of being overwhelmed. The condition can also lead to issues with personal and professional relationships, as individuals with ADHD may struggle with communication and find it difficult to prioritize tasks. This can result in a scattered approach to completing assignments, leading to subpar results and missed opportunities. Moreover, the symptoms of ADHD can take a toll on a person's mental and emotional well-being, leading to feelings of frustration, low self-esteem, and even depression. It's important to remember that ADHD is not just a matter of being careless or disinterested, but rather a real condition that requires understanding and the right kind of support. 2. Distraction and loss of focus. The modern world is full of distractions, and for individuals with ADHD, these distractions can be particularly more challenging. In today's world, it's common to be bombarded with all sorts of distractions. You've got social media notifications, emails, and other things contributing to so much mental noise. While many neurotypical people can adjust and live their lives normally, it isn't the same for people with ADHD. Research has shown that people with ADHD are more susceptible to distractions and have a harder time filtering out the noise and focusing on a single task. This can result in a vicious cycle of starting projects but never seeing them to completion, leading to increased stress and feelings of inadequacy. The constant barrage of distractions can also make it difficult for people with ADHD to plan and prioritize tasks effectively. This lack of focus, combined with a tendency to be distracted by irrelevant things, can lead to poor planning and, like I said, an inability to see projects through to completion. 3. Hyperfocus. While it's essential to acknowledge the adverse effects of ADHD, it's equally important to view some of these traits as a positive thing rather than otherwise. One of these traits that may double as both a blessing and a curse is hyperfocus. Hyperfocus is when someone with ADHD becomes so engrossed in a task that they lose track of time, space, or even some basic needs such as eating and sleeping. This intense concentration can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can lead to incredible productivity and creativity. On the other hand, it can cause individuals to neglect other responsibilities or even their own health. This is why many people with ADHD see it as both a blessing and a burden. When this particular trait is properly harnessed, it can be a powerful tool for individuals with ADHD, allowing them to channel their energy and focus on a task they're passionate about. Furthermore, researchers have found that hyperfocus is not simply a byproduct of ADHD, but rather a unique strength rooted in the brain's ability to adapt to multitasking challenges. People with ADHD often have difficulty shifting their attention from one task to another, and hyperfocus is the brain's way of compensating for this deficit. In other words, hyperfocus is an evolutionary superpower that has been honed over time to maximize productivity and creativity. 4. Excessive talking. For individuals with ADHD, their free flow of thoughts can result in excessive talking, making it difficult to interact with others in a balanced way. You may find that you often ramble or interrupt others without even realizing it. This tendency to interrupt others, dominate conversations, and leave little room for others to contribute can lead to strained relationships and social difficulties. People with ADHD may struggle with the social norms of conversation, such as taking turns speaking and listening to others. The enthusiasm for a topic can lead them to talking nonstop without considering the impact or interest of others. This can cause misunderstandings and hurt feelings, making it challenging for individuals with ADHD to build and maintain meaningful relationships. Unfortunately, individuals with ADHD may not even be aware of this tendency and struggle to make and keep friends. 5. Restlessness. When it comes to ADHD, restlessness and fidgeting are often the first things that come to mind. It's like an ever-present itch that just won't go away, a constant need to move, do, and be. And while it's true that restlessness is one of the most common ways parents identify ADHD in their children, it's important to remember that it doesn't just disappear with age. Adults with ADHD may not be bouncing off the walls, but they still feel that restless energy brewing inside them. Restlessness in adults with ADHD can look different than in children. It's not always as noticeable or disruptive, but it's still there beneath the surface. You might notice how they tap their feet or fingers, bounce their legs, pace uncontrollably, or constantly shift in their seats. They might seem so distracted or on edge as if they're itching to do something else. While restlessness is a common experience, it can be especially challenging for individuals with ADHD. When restlessness is persistent and interferes with daily activities, it can make it difficult to concentrate and complete tasks, and it can lead to feelings of stress and frustration. 6. Emotional rollercoaster. Imagine standing on a tightrope trying to maintain your balance while a gust of wind threatens to knock you off your course. This is what it's like for people with ADHD and keeping their emotions balanced. One moment they're steady and focused, the next they're spiraling out of control, their emotions threatening to push them off course. But it's not just about being restless and fidgety. ADHD is a complex condition that can impact every aspect of a person's life, including their emotions. One of the most challenging aspects of ADHD is rejection-sensitive dysphoria, a storm of emotions that hits when someone fears being criticized or rejected. It's like a tornado of feelings, tearing through everything in its path and leaving the person struggling to concentrate, work, or even get out of bed. It can be overwhelming and isolating, leaving them feeling like they're on the outside looking in. But emotional control issues don't end with RSD. People with ADHD may also struggle with a quick temper that can flare up and then dissipate just as quickly. It's like a switch that flips on and off, leaving others confused and unsure how to react. Building and maintaining relationships can be challenging, especially when others perceive their reactions as hostile or unpredictable. 7. Relationship issues. Living with ADHD can feel like you're constantly juggling a million balls simultaneously, trying to keep them all in the air. But the strain of ADHD isn't just felt by those living with the condition. It can also profoundly impact their relationships with partners, friends, and colleagues. One of the most challenging aspects of ADHD is emotional sensitivity, which can make it hard to regulate emotions and respond appropriately to criticism or rejection. This can cause friction in relationships, leaving partners and friends feeling like they're walking on eggshells or not getting enough attention. Forgetting important dates like anniversaries or birthdays can also be a source of frustration, causing partners to question their value and commitment to the relationship. Restlessness and trouble staying focused can also create hurdles in relationships. People with ADHD may talk over others or struggle to listen for long periods, making communication difficult. This can be especially problematic in romantic settings where partners may feel ignored or unheard. 8. Procrastination. We all experience procrastination from time to time, but it's more than just putting things off until the last minute. It's the persistent pattern of delaying tasks, even when it causes negative consequences in our lives. How many times have you found yourself scrolling aimlessly through social media, telling yourself you'll start that project in just 5 more minutes? If you're like most people, procrastination is a familiar foe, but did you know that it could also be a sign of ADHD? People with ADHD are even more likely to procrastinate because of challenges with executive functioning. Executive functions are mental processes that help us plan, organize, initiate, and complete tasks. Individuals with ADHD may struggle with effective functions, leading to difficulty initiating tasks, organizing their thoughts and materials, and following through with tasks to completion. For people with ADHD, the prospect of starting a task can feel overwhelming and cause anxiety, leading to avoidance and procrastination. They may also struggle with distractions and have difficulty prioritizing their tasks. This can result in a cycle of procrastination, stress, and feelings of inadequacy. Another related sign of ADHD is having a warped perception of time, leading to a tendency to underestimate how much time a task will take, resulting in last-minute scrambling to complete it. What about the things hidden anxiety makes you do? Watch this video to learn about that.